there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Crafty Kathy. I'm the owner and creator of Kent's Vintage Farmhouse in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I'm so happy and thankful that you stopped in to craft and to spend a little time with me today. Today I have for you some Dollar Tree DIYs that are all $5 and under, and they only take about 5 minutes or less to create. So are you ready to get into this one? Because I sure am. So let's jump on in. For my first DIY, I'm going to redo this Jack Skellington wreath that I made for my grandson a few weeks ago. I know you guys were really nice and you said it looked okay, but I could not stand this thing. From the moment that I created it, I just didn't like it. In my mind, it was going to be so beautiful, but when I actually put it together, I just didn't like it. So we're just going to totally redo it and make it something that I'm proud to give to him. So all I'm doing here is just taking apart this wreath. I'm going to reuse all of it except for the wreath itself. And for your reference, in case you want some of those Jack Skellington heads, all three of those heads came on one long hanger at the At Home store, and it was only $2.99 here in Chattanooga. So what we're going to do is put these heads on one of those pumpkin Halloween signs from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to leave the sign exactly the way it is because the colors and the scheme actually goes perfect and matches with The Nightmare Before Christmas, the movie that Jack Skellington came from. I know most of us know who Jack Skellington is, but there's going to be somebody who asked me who this little guy is, so I just wanted to throw it out there for reference. What I'm going to do is make these heads look like they're 3D. So what I did was take 2 tumbling tower blocks and glued them together, and I did that twice for a total of 4, and I'm going to put it in the center of each of the pumpkins and place a head right on top of it. And that's going to give it that 3D look that I desire. Now I know that Jack Skellington is not at the Dollar Tree. However, the Dollar Tree has so many different little ghosts and witches and that type thing that I'm sure you could find something that really speaks to you that would look so cute in the middle of this pumpkin sign, just in case you want to create a DIY like this one. So here I'm just placing another one of the heads at the bottom, and then at the very top I'm going to put the last one. And I'm going to put the one that had the little hole in the top of it because I want to cover that up. And I'm going to remove that little bow that came on this pumpkin sign. Now I'm going to take these little black garland pieces, and I also got these at the At Home store. They came on this big long garland, and what I did was just clip those off so that I could use them, in pieces like this. And I'm just going to put a couple on each side at the very tops of my little pumpkins just to kind of give it a little flair and make it look exactly like I want it to. So I started off just putting 2 on each side so I could kind of sit back and gauge it and see where I wanted it to go. I know I wanted the main focal point of this whole sign to be Jack Skellington's faces, of course, but I didn't want to overpower it or overdo it with all the other bright stuff. But I do know that I want to use these little ribbons and bows that I had already made. And all I did, in case you're wondering, is I cut these ribbon at 10 inches long, and I just kind of pinched them in the middle. And then they have like a little pumpkin that's also from the Dollar Tree, just glued to it in the middle. And then I think one of them has like the ornament still glued to it, and I left it on there. But after I had just put 2 on each side, I realized I kind of needed a little bit more. So I just added 2 more to each side, and then I thought that that would be kind of where I'm wanting to go with this piece. So on that bottom pumpkin, which is the biggest pumpkin, I ended up putting 4 of those small pieces on each side. And now we're going to move up to our middle pumpkin. And of course I'm going to put less on this one because it's a little bit smaller pumpkin, and I just think that it would look best to have, the most garland and pizzazz down on that bottom one. So I ended up putting 2 on each side of the middle pumpkin. Then I'm going to take another one of my little pre-made bows, and this one has one of the small black ornaments, those little ornaments that come from the Dollar Tree. It has it glued to the center of it, and I kind of like that because it breaks up the monotony instead of just putting pumpkins all the way up through there. So I'm going to use that one there in the center. And I love this orange and black striped ribbon. I think it looks so perfect with the whole Nightmare Before Christmas theme. And for the very top pumpkin, I decided to put a little bow that had like a orange sparkly little ornament in the middle, and it already had the wreath stuck to it. And it only had one little piece of wreath sticking out from each side. So it actually was perfect for that top pumpkin. I wanted to cover up that hole that was in the top of his head, so I just grabbed some moss and I put it on the top, and then I added a small orange ornament. And then I'm using these little blocks that I've had in my stash forever. I don't even remember where these came from. And I'm spelling out, "This is Halloween," because that's the song that goes along with The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. And my little grandson is going to flip his wig when he sees this. It's so cute. I hope you like it too. Let me know what you think. The next DIY was very interesting, to say the least. I got 5 of those little rats from the Dollar Tree. In case you've been wondering, what in the world can I do with these things? Well, here's an idea. I think it's a good one. I've got some fishing line here, and I'm going to show you what it says just for reference. It says 0.011 diameter. We're going to put some whiskers on these babies. Now, they do have those old cheap-looking plastic whiskers on them when you buy them, but I took an X-Acto knife and shaved mine off, and you won't believe the difference just tweaking these a little bit makes. Okay, so what I did was I just took a very thick needle, and this needle is made for embroidery. I got them at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to stick the needle inside his little face there where a whisker would go. And do you know those self-healing mats, like if you cut it, it will kind of heal itself? Well, their face is kind of that same material. So what I did was when I stuck the pin in and pulled it out, it would create a small hole that I had just a few seconds to pop a whisker in. I used the biggest diameter needle that I could find, and I would stick it in his little face and maneuver it around and then pull it out, and it would create a little hole just big enough for me to stick the little whisker right through. And once you stick the twine in there, it literally kind of heals up on itself and it closes around the whisker, and it just looks real. I can't explain it in any other way. I did 3 on each side of each of my little mouses, and then you just take your scissors and you cut it to whatever length you want. So I'm going to do the other side of this little guy's face, and I'll show you again how I did it. I take my large needle, I poke it in, and I just kind of move my hand around to make it, the hole as big as I can. And I already have my twine cut because that helps you with time. And you just cut it however long you think you'll need. You pull your needle out and you just stick it right in, and it just kind of closes up on itself. When I first started this project, My thought was to make little rats that were on broomsticks, and so they would be like the witch's rats, and they fly, and they're magical in their own little broomsticks. I got that idea from a lady that I watch called Brooke Darwin. I absolutely love her channel. She's very talented. Now, she cut her rats open and sewed their little hands together, and I did sew their hands together on a couple of those, but I honestly don't recommend doing it because I had a tough time doing it. I literally put the embroidering needle through their little hands, and I just kind of like used hemp cord and tied their little hands together, and I couldn't do the feet as well. She did the hands and the feet and had them where you could just slide the little Dollar Tree broomsticks up in between, and they literally look like little flying rats. She has a bakery, I think in California, and she had those little rats hanging from the ceiling, and they look like they're flying. They're the cutest things, even though it's an ugly rat, you know, but it really was cute. Now, so I'm giving you the Kathy version, the simplest, easiest version I can give you. We're still going to make our little rats cute. They're just not necessarily going to be magical flying rats. So I went through all 5 of my little rats, and I put the 3 whiskers on each side. And guys, these turn out really, I mean, it's crazy how cute these are. And let me show you the next step. So here comes the messy part. We're going to flock these rats where it looks like they have fur. Now, I wasn't sure exactly how to do. I just kind of felt it out to see what I was doing. In the first one, I used some spray adhesive, and I bought this little mini flocker thing off of Amazon, and you put your flocking powder inside of it, and it's like a flocking gun, I believe is what it's called, and you just kind of push it in and out, and the little flocking powder flies all over whatever you're trying to flock, and it literally makes it look like it's fur. Now, I wasn't really impressed with that flocking gun that I got off of Amazon, but I love the flocking powder itself. My friend Lori over at Milton's Daughter sent me some of that. She sent me some black and sent me some gray because I had this project in my mind to do for quite a while. So after I had sprayed my little rat and the flocking gun wasn't working that great, I just put it in my hand just like you would like salt or pepper and kind of sprinkled it on him. And guys, I made a mess. This stuff was messy. So I'm just going to warn you, if you ever want to fool with any kind of like flocking anything, the best thing to do, I think, is to do it in a cardboard box like this, but to probably do it outside. I did it inside on my craft table because I had my camera set up and I wanted you guys to get the full idea of what I was doing and be able to see it. And in my mind, I was thinking, it probably won't make that big of a mess if I do it in a cardboard box. Oh dear. It was all over the place. It was even on the curtains that's in front of my table. It was all over the place, y'all. By the time I was done with this project, I was really ready to be done with it. So that's when I was using the spray adhesive. But the next day, I decided to try Mod Podge, and Mod Podge worked so much better with that flocking stuff. And I thought what I'll do is just maybe kind of do the head and just see how this works out. Well, I covered his head with just a little bit of Mod Podge. I took the stuff, and the stuff that I got from Lori is not actually called flocking powder. It's called velvet powder. So in case you guys do want to buy some of this from her, her website is www.miltonsdaughter.com. And you know if you use the code CraftyCathy10, you get 10% off of your order. And it's called velvet powder. But she would know exactly what you're talking about if you told her you wanted some flocking powder. However, the second day, it wasn't as messy as the first day because I used the Mod Podge and I put it on with a paintbrush, and then I just put the velvet powder in my hand and sprinkled it on. And guys, I can't believe how realistic looking these little rats are. I mean, I know rats aren't cute by any means, but they kind of are, as long as they're not in your house. I guess as I went along, I kind of got the hang a little bit better on how to use that flocking gun, but I wouldn't recommend you go out and buy one of these off of Amazon because I saw a lot of people on YouTube doing different means to flock stuff, and they didn't have to have a special flocking gun. So I just thought that it might be the easiest way to put it on, but honestly, I liked it better when I just sprinkled it on. Here is one of my little rats that I did successfully get the broomstick to go through his little hands. And I was able to save a lot of that flocking powder by using one of those little handheld tabletop vacuums that you get off of Amazon. I have this one tagged in my Amazon store if you want one. And in case you ever wonder if these things work, look how much of this flocking powder that it picked up. I mean, and that flocking powder is very fine. It's almost like a dust. This vacuum I have is amazing, and it's way stronger and better than the little ladybug ones. It's just a really good vacuum, and it's about the same price. I think they're about $10 each, but you definitely need one of those in your crafting arsenal. Now, this is one of the little mice that I painted gray. I thought that I was going to use the gray flocking powder, but in the end I just did all black because it was so messy. To be honest with you, I just wanted to hurry up and get it over with. I was just getting it all over the place. It was crazy. But you know what's really funny is that it really does look like fur. I'm amazed that they can make a product like that can make it look like it has fur. Now, in case you're wondering why mine is cut up the center like that, when I had watched the video that the other lady created, she cut hers down the center and then sewed it back together and sewed their little hands and feet in a way that they were holding those tiny broomsticks from the Dollar Tree. And then she used that fishing twine and sewed that through his back, and he was suspended by the ceiling, and he actually looked like he was a little flying rat. Now, I didn't have the hand strength after I had it cut open to get it all sewed up that way. It takes a lot of hand strength, and that needle is so heavy and thick, I just couldn't do it. But I was able to get his little hands sewn together with some hemp cord, and for me, that was enough. I was just able to stick the little broomstick up in between his hands, and he looks like it's holding it. I'm going to leave a link to her video down below just in case you do want to go watch it and try the whole flying rat thing. Please let me see it if you are able to recreate it. But that's the reason why I didn't even show that part of me cutting them from the front all the way down, because it just didn't work out. It was really difficult to do, and the last thing I want to do is steer y'all wrong. I just took some red chalk paint and I'm going to dab it on their eyes to make them look like they're scary mice. And then I took this little bird cage outside and I spray painted it black. And I don't know, I just adore these, and I think that they will give Halloween decor something kind of like a little different spin. And my grandson is absolutely going to love these guys. If you're enjoying this content so far, would you please hit the like button because it really helps me out on YouTube, and also subscribe. I would love to have you in our family. Now let's move on to the third DIY. It's so fast that if you blink, you're going to miss it. I grabbed these two little witch candlestick holders at the Dollar Tree the other day. Goodness, I was stumbling over my words. And these guys are so cute, but I just wanted to spice them up a little bit and make them into something, a little bit cuter than what they are. So all I'm going to do is squirt out a little bit of Mod Podge on my wax paper here. I'm just going to take a very thin paintbrush and I'm going to lightly cover just the witch and her broomstick, like every little piece that is the witch. And then I'm going to take my orange glitter, and it came from the Dollar Tree also, and I'm just going to kind of pepper it over her, and it just makes these stand out so much, and it really, honestly, makes them so much cuter than what they are. Now, there's nothing wrong with them the way that they are right now, but I like to pizzazz things up and just kind of make it to where it stands out a little bit more. And so I did the exact same thing on both of my witches. I told you if you blinked, you'd miss it. Now we're on the very last DIY, and it also is a very quick one. I grabbed one of these, I guess you would call it a little crate from the Dollar Tree. You can use any shape, but I like this shape because if you'll notice around the back, if you're looking at it from the back, it looks like it has a little frame around it. I like to do this with my favorite picture or postcard or whatever for every season because it is so budget friendly. Now, I ordered these little pictures off of Etsy, and you don't have to do that. I think they were only about $2 each. These postcards, I found them at a yard sale, but you can find all kinds of stuff at the Dollar Tree, like their transfers, their stickers, whatever that you want to put on the bottom and frame out. So all I did was paint my whole box black, except for that part that I told you looks like a frame, and I just used my orange chalk paint to go around it and frame that out. These are some of my most favorite pictures. They're actually postcards that I got really lucky and came across at a yard sale. I paid 50 cents for a whole book of these things. And these are the postcards. It's the same pictures that's on Graphics Fairy. So if you want these pictures, you can get them at thegraphicsfairy.com, and it's totally free. You would just have to print it off at home, but the images are free. So since these were postcards and I had to tear them out, they had kind of little jaggedy edges on them. And I just took my little hand sander and just kind of sanded down the edges very slightly. And all I'm going to do is take some double-sided tape because I don't want this to be permanent by any means. Like I said, I swap it up for the different seasons. I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of my double-sided tape and stick her on there and call it a day. And since this project was so easy and quick, I decided to make two of them. And the other one, I just used like the regular square-shaped little crate, and I painted it black also. And I used my little pinking shears to cut my picture This is just on regular cardstock, and these I got from Etsy. Now, I will leave in the description, in the link below, in case you guys want to go to that store on Etsy. They were only like $2 or $3, and there was a whole bunch of different pictures. So I'm just cutting it out, sticking it on there, and then I took 4 of my little half beads and stuck them on there just to kind of frame it out. And then I'm going to follow up with some more of those little letter tiles that say spooky, because I thought that was cute, and it kind of filled up the whole bottom portion down there where there was just empty space. Making these little framed pieces is really inexpensive, and it's really cute, and it's one of my favorite ways to show some of my most favorite artwork for each season. I hope you like these. I just want to say thank you so much for watching my videos and for supporting my channel. You don't know how much you guys mean to me, and I am so happy and thankful that you stopped in to craft and to spend a little time with me today. I never in a million years would have thought that anybody would want to listen to me talk, much less hang around and keep watching more than one video. So I am so thankful for you guys. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button. That's the like button, because it lets YouTube know that you do enjoy my videos, and they'll push my videos out to people who've never seen my content before, and that greatly helps my channel. And you don't know how thankful I am when you guys do that for me. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that little red subscribe button. What in the world are you waiting for? I would love to have you in my family. Now, don't forget that my videos are every Monday and Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, guys, I hope to see you in the next, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And if you did like this video, I have one right here that has very similar content. All you have to do is go and click on that actual video, and it will take you there when this one's finished. Now, I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you and all your families. I love you very much.